I used to think blurry vision after 60 was just part of getting older. But then, one number completely shocked me. Over 99% of seniors lose their eyesight, not because of age, but because of missing nutrients no one ever told them about. Someone out there has been hiding this truth, and I decided to find out why. For years, I believed that reading small print or having blurry eyes was simply a sign of aging. But one day, while reading a medical journal, I came across something that sent chills down my spine. Billions of dollars are poured into the anti-aging industry every year, yet they never tell us about the natural nutrients that can protect our retina better than most synthetic pills. Harvard Health even said it clearly. Chronic inflammation silently damages the retina long before vision loss appears. That's when it hit me. It's not time that steals our sight. It's our modern lifestyle, our processed foods, and the lack of vital micronutrients quietly damaging our eyes day after day. The more I researched, the more it felt like peeling back the layers of a hidden secret. According to the National Eye Institute, certain antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin can significantly reduce the risk of macular degeneration. And here's the crazy part. These powerful compounds are naturally found in simple nuts and seeds most of us overlook every single day. So I started a journey. I met people who had nearly lost their vision but got it back by returning to real food, real nutrition. One retired engineer, 68 years old, told me, "I just ate a few kinds of nuts every morning, and after 3 months, my doctor said the degeneration in my retina had stopped." In this video, I'm going to share 5 powerful nuts and seeds that science has proven can nourish your eyes, protect your retina, and prevent early blindness. This isn't magic. This is real science that the billion-dollar industry doesn't want you to know, and you deserve to hear it. Stay with me until the end, because the last one, number 1, might just change the way you see the world forever. And that journey started with something so ordinary. A handful of sunflower seeds. For years, I only saw them as a little snack to pass the time. But it turns out they were the first missing piece of a secret the eye industry has been quietly hiding. I met George one sunny afternoon in Florida. He's 64, a former delivery driver who spent over 30 years behind the wheel. When he retired, he told me in a quiet, tired voice, "I don't drive anymore. At night, everything looks blurry, like there's fog over my eyes." George had been diagnosed with early macular degeneration, the beginning stage of vision loss. His doctor prescribed synthetic supplements with vitamin E, but George chose a different path. He went back to nature. And when I looked deeper, I found plenty of real science supporting that choice. According to the National Institutes of Health, vitamin E is a potent antioxidant that protects eye cells from damage caused by free radicals. The Age-Related Eye Disease Study, or AREDS, went even further. High dietary intake of vitamin E was associated with a 25% lower risk of progression to advanced macular degeneration. Sunflower seeds are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin E, about 7.4 milligrams per ounce, 28 grams, nearly half of your daily needs. Vitamin E acts like a biological shield, protecting your retina from oxidative stress, one of the main causes of blurry vision and premature eye aging. George began eating a small handful of sunflower seeds every morning, along with light walks to boost blood circulation to his eyes. 2 months later, he told me, "One night, I was sitting in my car and realized I could read the road signs again. I cried because I could finally drive home without fear." When I looked into his eyes that day, I understood something powerful. Healing doesn't come from magic. It comes from going back to what nature has already given us, something most people have simply forgotten. And that was just the beginning. because the next seed on this list contains a compound scientists call a natural lutein booster, and that discovery surprised me even more. After meeting George, I began to realize something simple. Sometimes it's the smallest things that can save our eyesight. And every time I thought I had seen all the wonders nature could offer, someone new appeared. A new face, a new story. And my belief in natural healing grew even stronger. That someone was Helen, 74, from Oregon. She used to be a literature teacher, but had to give up her lifelong love for reading because the letters on the page slowly began to blur and melt before her eyes. Helen told me, "I thought I was being punished. After a lifetime of loving books, suddenly I couldn't read anymore. I tried glasses, eye drops, even laser treatments. Nothing worked." Then, one day, while watching a video about nutrition, she heard someone mention zinc and how it helps transport vitamin A to the retina, forming the visual pigment that allows us to see light. That story caught my attention. I started digging deeper. What I found shocked me. These weren't new discoveries. The medical world had known this for decades, but few people ever heard about it. According to Harvard Health Publishing, zinc plays a crucial role in bringing vitamin A from the liver to the retina to produce melanin, a protective pigment in the eyes. And the National Eye Institute, in the well-known ARED study, Age-Related Eye Disease Study, concluded participants who took zinc supplements showed a 25% reduction in the risk of developing advanced macular degeneration. Zinc isn't just a mineral, it's like the light carrier inside your eyes, helping you move from blurry vision to clear sight. And here's the surprising part. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of zinc, providing about 2.2 milligrams per ounce, around 20% of your daily needs. Helen decided to replace her morning pastries and coffee with a small bowl of roasted pumpkin seeds. She told me, "I thought, even if it doesn't help my vision, at least it'll be good for my heart." But just 3 months later, something wonderful happened. "I remember that morning in March," she said. "The sunlight came through my window, and I opened my old copy of Pride and Prejudice. The first line I could read was, 'It is a truth universally acknowledged,' and I burst into tears because I could read again." That afternoon, I watched Helen smile in the soft golden light. Her eyes sparkled, just like the words she had loved her entire life. In that moment, I understood something deeper. Zinc doesn't just carry vitamin A. It carries hope. From the past to the present, from the shadows back into the light. After leaving Oregon, I couldn't stop thinking about Helen. The sparkle in her eyes that morning when she read her first line again after so many years. But something inside me pushed me further, not just to discover minerals that protect the retina, but to find nutrients that could soothe inflammation, hydrate, and revive the entire eye. That's when I met Lillian, 70, a woman with trembling hands but a heart that never gave up. Lillian used to be a renowned hand embroidery artist in her small Tucson, Arizona community. But in recent years, her eyes began betraying her passion. "I couldn't see the needle clearly anymore," she told me. "My eyes were dry, stinging, and everything looked covered in a thin haze." She tried every type of eye drop, even prescription ones from specialists, but they only gave temporary relief. It wasn't until an old friend suggested chia seeds that things started to change. I started researching, and I understood why experts call this tiny seed a superfood for the eyes. According to a 2020 study published in Nutrients Journal, Alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid found in chia seeds, helps reduce retinal inflammation and improve tear film stability. In other words, the omega-3 ALA in chia seeds isn't just good for the heart. It acts like a natural lubricant for the eyes, easing dryness, fighting inflammation, and protecting retinal cells from oxidative stress. And that's not all. Chia seeds also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two golden pigments that filter blue light and protect the macula. As Harvard Health Publishing explains, lutein and zeaxanthin are found in high concentrations in the macula, where they absorb excess light energy and protect the eyes from oxidative damage. Lillian started simply, just 1 tablespoon of chia seeds soaked overnight, mixed with almond milk and a touch of honey each morning. 6 weeks later, she wrote to me, "I can see each stitch again. I don't believe in miracles, but this is probably the closest I've ever experienced one." I'll never forget seeing her sitting by the window, sunlight streaming across her fabric, her hands trembling, but each stitch sharp, vibrant, alive. I asked her, "What do you think really helped your eyes heal?" She smiled. "I think it's because I believed my eyes could heal, and I gave them what they needed." Chia seeds aren't just a food. They're a symbol of regeneration. Proof that the body still knows how to heal itself when we nourish it with the right things. And I know this journey isn't over, because what I'm about to discover next, a seed that may seem ordinary, but according to ophthalmology research in IAGE 2019, can improve dry eyes by up to 42% in just 30 days, will surprise you even more. I left Tucson on a dry, crisp morning, the kind of air Lillian once called the enemy of the eyes. Even though chia seeds had helped, I kept hearing the same complaint from hundreds of seniors. "My eyes feel like they're full of sand." And then another story led me to Wisconsin, to a woman named Margaret, 69, who told me she had thrown away her eye drops after 30 years of reliance. Margaret is a retired music teacher. She shared that for 2 decades, reading sheet music had become a form of torture. "Every time I kept my eyes open for too long, they burned. I had to stop, blink repeatedly, and use eye drops. At first, just a few times a day, then it grew to over a dozen times." When I met her, I saw exhaustion in her gaze, mixed with a habit of enduring. But what surprised me most was the solution, a tiny brown seed that everyone has seen in their kitchen, flax seeds. Research has confirmed this for years. In a 2019 report by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, scientists wrote, "Dietary supplementation with flaxseed oil improved symptoms of dry eye syndrome and increased tear film stability by 42% within 30 days. In other words, the omega-3 ALA in flax seeds doesn't just nourish the eyes, it softens and stabilizes the tear film, helping eyes naturally moisturize themselves instead of relying on drops. Even better, it's not only the tear film that improves. Surface inflammation of the cornea also decreases significantly. Another study in ophthalmology research explained ALA from flax seeds modulates inflammatory mediators on the ocular surface, leading to reduced redness, burning, and foreign body sensation. Margaret laughed softly when I told her this. I'll give it a try. I've tried everything else. A little extra seed can't hurt." She began each morning with 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds, mixed with Greek yogurt and a drizzle of honey. 2 weeks later, she messaged me, "My eyes feel less dry. I don't need to carry drops anymore." After a month, she sent me a photo. Margaret at her piano, eyes bright, hands flying over the keys. Under the picture, just one line, It feels like my eyes are breathing again. I was silent when I read it, not because flax seeds are magical, but because they proved something simple and profound. Our bodies have never forgotten how to heal themselves. We just need to give them the chance. Flax seeds, small, humble, yet containing a biological language of regeneration. And as I continued this journey, I realized the real miracle wasn't over. The final seed I'm about to share doesn't just protect the eyes, it even prevents microvascular damage in the retina for people with diabetes, according to Harvard Medical School 2020. I still remember, as I delved deeper into the research on seeds that could restore vision, I began noticing a strange pattern. Every seed that's good for the eyes contains nutrients that rebuild microcirculation, the tiny light networks that nourish the retina. At the pinnacle of that list, black sesame seeds. Many people think black sesame only helps with hair and skin, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful foods for protecting the retina from diabetic complications. In a study published in the Journal of Functional Foods, scientists found that black sesame seed extract improved retinal microcirculation and reduced oxidative damage in diabetic models. In other words, the extract can improve blood flow in the retina and reduce oxidative damage, the silent culprit behind blurry vision, glare, and even permanent vision loss in millions of people. What makes black sesame special are sesamin and sesamolin, two lignan compounds that fight inflammation and strengthen the small blood vessels in the eye. When these vessels are healthy, the central retina receives proper nourishment, reducing swelling and the risk of capillary tears. A report in Nutrition Research 2020 even noted sesamin supplementation significantly attenuated retinal edema and improved visual acuity in patients with diabetic retinopathy. This is clear proof that black sesame isn't just food, it's a natural protective wall for eyes weakening with age. I once met Elias, 72, at a senior gathering in San Diego. Elias was a painter, someone who lived by the subtleties of light, capturing every tiny detail on his subjects' faces. But by age 70, diabetic retinal swelling had shrouded his vision in a white haze. His doctor said bluntly, "Your vision loss is permanent." Elias set down his brush, thinking it was the last painting he'd ever create. Then a glimmer of hope appeared. He began trying black sesame seeds, which studies call a natural modulator of retinal microcirculation and oxidative stress, Journal of Functional Foods 2019. Every morning, he ground the seeds and mixed them with warm milk, a small ritual, but full of faith. And then, the miracle happened. After 8 weeks, the swelling in his retina had visibly decreased. Elias said, "For the first time in years, I could see light hitting my canvas again." That moment, the reflection of light in the eyes of the painter was the emotional peak of this journey. It didn't just show the power of black sesame, it proved that human eyes can regenerate when nourished with natural nutrients and belief. That was the moment I realized every black sesame seed is a tiny miracle, and when used consistently, it can open up an entire sky. Elias often told me, "This isn't magic, this is biochemistry," and he was right. What happened wasn't magic, it was science working properly, when the body is given what it's been missing. No expensive surgery, no costly eye drops, just real food, real science, real results. When I watched Elias sit by his easel, reading the tiny lines in his sketchbook again, I understood. This isn't just about the eyes, it's about the right to see life again. Reading without strain, recognizing loved ones' faces, walking confidently in the afternoon sun. Simple things, yet true freedom for millions of seniors. And if you're watching this video, remember, hope is still here. Your eyes aren't old, they're just waiting to be nourished back to life. Start today with just a handful of seeds and give your eyes a chance to heal so that one day you too can say, like Elias, I can see my world again.